know, it's been a little while since I played Cloud Imperium's Star Citizen. This is still the 2.6, so we've only got the small universe. But I felt like coming back in. I sold all my ships. I upgraded them. By upgraded, I mean I have used the upgrade coupons. And I feel I've done very well to myself. In fact, you can see my ship here. This is my ship. This is the entirety of my inventory. I believe this ship right here. It's so good. You can hold it in one hand, or you could turn around and see all of it over there. I wasn't lying when I said that I had that ship. But yes, welcome back to the Revel and York hangar. This is a business class hangar. This is where you invite your people over to come along and have a cup of tea while you look down at your ship. This is the ultra high setting running on a 1060, and it gets about 80 FPS. I have it locked to 60 at the moment. Drops down to about 40 while I have it down here. But I would like to say, I do also have a wallpaper engine thing running in the background at the moment that had a lot of effects going on it. So the stuttering you see is entirely because of that. Pausing that, all completely fine. This is a gorgeous looking thing. So over here we have a nice little seating and viewing area. I'm going to assume that when they allow you to have all of your area back, this wall over here will disappear and it will come into another area much similar to that one. So we're going to go downstairs and I'll give you a tour of the Crusader. What are they called? Constellation. I believe it's the Andromeda. Yes, this is the Constellation Andromeda. It is a, I think, 5 or 6 person ship. You have 3 in the main area, the canopy. You have 2 for the gunners, top and bottom. And then at the back over here, there is a another little ship, a Mustang, which I will show you later on. How do you open this with a controller? Why? This is the only way in, unless you want to go in through the cargo hatch over there. Jump on. Go on up. Animation. So yes, welcome to the lounge area, I guess you would consider this. The lounge and bedroom slash escape pods, as these all work as escape pods if the need arises. You will run away. We'll start down the back end. This is the cargo bay. You can open it up through this panel here. Should be able to, if I can aim on it properly. Where is the other button to open this? Oh, we also have these which break immediately. It opens up, and if you try and open this outside one, that it's open on the outside, but not on the inside. It's slightly weird. Yes, to open the cargo bay, you can open it from this side. It's not that front side for some reason. It was right there. There it is. This drops all the way down to safe. So this is how you would load this place up. This particular version of the Constellation is typically or primarily a exploration ship. So it's more designed for exploration with larger fuel reserves and bigger engines, things like that, with a smaller cargo area. It does not, however, skimp on the munitions, considering we have, I believe it's 12 of these on each side. So 12 of these per rack, times 2, so there's 24 on each side. There's 48 of these missiles. These are size 2 or 4. 3 or 4, I think. And then on the outside, I'll show you in a minute, there's some wing-mounted missiles, and they're quite large. Through here we have the gravity generator, the power plant, and other power stuff, and a nuclear something or another. Say nuclear, it's just radiation. And here's our Merlin. This is a deployable ship. So someone will jump into there and then it will be dropped off into space and be used as a short-range fighter. This ship, while it is heavily armed at the front, there isn't much that can be done at the back. Like, most of its guns are forward-facing, and all of the pilot guns are forward-facing, and most of the look up, there's a airlock here. Most of the guns for the other people, the turret people, aren't great in the backwards position, just because there is a lot of stuff in the way. And this is the cockpit. We have a shield generator unit over here, and avionic units over here. One thing I will always say about the RSIs is they have amazing cockpits, like huge amount of viewing area. You get into the pilot zone, pilot seat rather, and it's all suspended from the front for the pilot. I believe the co-pilot is bottom mounted rather than top. We have all of our displays up on the individual screens. Yeah, he's bottom mounted and so is he, so they'll spin around on the bottom. Now to get into these turrets, you have to come around the back of here. And looking up or down, you choose whichever turret you want to get into. You do not want to miss that step, because you've still got gravity in here, so you will drop all the way down. So this is the Constellation in all of its glory. As you can see on the top wing there, the top two wings, they are little pylons, and nacelles, they could even be called, I'm not too sure. They are two M4A laser cannons. And these top two, they're not on gimbals of any description. These top two turrets, or top two nacelles, will move slightly to the left and right in order to steer. That's how it steers, it moves these top two. These bottom two are stuck in place. Now the wing in the middle here, this one right here, and also this one here, is mirrored on the other side. And they are just full to the brim with missiles. To the brim. There's our airlock is stuck open there. And you can see me in the top. I believe probably bald, as everyone in this game is bald at the moment. These turrets do tuck in when not in use. And as you can see, are stored backwards when also not in use. As you can see, if you're shooting backwards with these things, you have to watch out for the top two engines and their guns the entire time, so it's not great for shooting backwards. There isn't that much the ship can do on a backwards plane. I believe also that on this wing, whoa, gee, these things here are the engines, like the up-down, left-right sort of engines, or the exhaust space for them. The engines themselves are these things here, little shooting things, and they will flip around. And it's the same on the back. They for added left to right, up and down thrust. So yes, these wings all along here, if I get a little bit closer, each of these is an individual missile on these wings. You can kind of just see them poking out at the moment. Yeah, let's close that up, I guess. And it's all of these in here. These are all individual size 2 missiles. Yes, that is the insides of the Constellation Andromeda. The main difference between the Andromeda and, say, something like the other one is the Andromeda has this guy. This little Merlin that sits in the front. Or in the back even, and he can be dropped off whenever needed. And now that we've had a look at this guy, we're going to say goodbye to him. And I believe I also have one of the other ships, like the starter ship that I upgraded this from. Ah yes, this is the Merlin. This is the ship that is underneath it. There we go. As you can see, single pilot. I put a couple of these on here rather than whatever it had at the beginning, and it's got a mounted minigun on the inside. That one. I can't show this to you at the moment just because of, unless I can jump up there. Just because of how the game is, there's no UI to show you what each individual part looks like. but it is in here. If I get the pilot seat, maybe able to see it from inside. Yeah, you can just see it poking through the front there. Why is this ship moving? What are you doing? Stop moving. It's ever so slowly spinning. This is the minigun in there. If I go into the third person. He's still moving. Big, long minigun in the front. This pops up. And a forward-facing minigun. Imagine saying like the Gal 30mm on the A10 Warthog. It's saying essentially the same design principle as that. And the wings will obviously pop down. In theory, this ship would actually be quite good in atmosphere if it can, if it has enough thrust in its front nose area to keep that pointed in a flat thing. Because it'll have a lot of lift at the back, but it doesn't have any at the front. And it does kind of lack the rudder at the back and the ailerons at the back. So all of its thrust for the back and forth would have to, or the up and down, would have to come from the thrusters on the front. Same with keeping its roll would have to come from the front as well, because these are here, but they don't look all too powerful, just given the size of the ship. I don't have this in my thing according to the game, like in my what is the word for this? In my personal hangar, according to the game. And on this I've stuck the Boeing big gun. The Boeing Ballistic Cannon S4 size 4 gun. And this is on top of the specialty mount. So it replaces the all-in-one big box with that mount, which is a single, non-moving, non-gimbaled, basically free-shot cannon, which will take out most Vandal ships and Vandal Swarm in 1 to 2 bursts. We also have this gun here, which is on a gimbal, which fires at the same rate and timing as these ones. However, for some reason I am unable to, and I have no idea if it's an issue on my side, which it probably is, unable to separate that one and that one from firing at the same time. So I go to right click, which would fire the second weapons group, would fire both of them at the same time, which doesn't quite work because the top one is not gimbaled, while the bottom one is, and it fires at the same rate as these three, so you end up having these three all firing at the same time, and this one occasionally going bang to bang. These large scoops here are supposedly its fuel intake. It's supposed to scoop up hydrogen from the void of space, and it places it into the fuel tank, which is somewhere. I believe it's somewhere around the back. Get out of there. And there you have these missiles over here. Well, these task force missiles. I believe that's what they are. Okay, game. That's if you could stop for a second. There we go. Are they task forces? Marksmans. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Task forces on here. We have like 3 different missile types. Okay, that's odd. And for some reason, this always shows this blue ball here. I'm not too sure why. Let's continue the tour. We'll go up here and have a look around. So as you can see, this level is a little bit lower than the other one, about a story or 2. I'm not too sure on the dimensions of this place. But as you can see, this one is only for this area. This will be like the central area if they extend outwards. What goes here? Keep trying to press X. I guess nothing goes there. As you can see, my stocks are doing well. For the most part, they're both slowly going up. They did hit a spike over at the beginning of the segment, but they've gone down now. All our biometrics are doing cool, our telemetry's fine. But these, I'm not sure when they re-extend the areas if this whole band across the centre here is going to be gone, or if they'll just open up that passageway and leave a big wall in between each area. Come over here. Because this whole thing here sort of just clips onto the wall. So they may well just leave this on both sides of said wall. When this hanger came out, I can make it up here. Come on, get out. You can make it up here. There are ways. When this hanger came out, and all hangers actually, apart from I think in the Southland, if you had more than 2 or 3 ships, you could store them in adjacent hangars for show off. But they've since gotten rid of that feature due to it causing issues, by my understanding. I'm not sure if it's lag involved issues, or if it was a case of it was just the game would constantly forget like where things were, which is a bit of a shame with this game, as the settings that you give it are sometimes forgotten for whatever reason. Yeah, we can get up here, and now we're down here. Just as well to do full damage in this mode. Let's run over here, because you can have the constellation here, and only the constellation, or you can do something like this, and then we put Merlin here, Doom. Then you could have another one here, top, there, and that would be your 3 ships here, and then a door would open on either side, and you could go and put something over there. They've gotten rid of that for now. Yeah, that was the Constellation, the Merlin, the Him Again, and the Revelin York. Thanks for joining me on this one. I hope you have a nice morning, a nice evening, and a nice afternoon. Ta-ra, everyone.